Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright, check it out. This is part 7, 2003 Jeep Liberty Sport with the 3.7. We are doing a partial engine rebuild. We have taken this apart, left you hanging on 2 episodes, and this might be number 3. I don't know yet. But anyway, last time we left off, we were just pulling off the cylinder head, and we noticed when we took off the valve cover, there was some rockers misplaced, lifters were out of place. But I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Let's find out what we see over here. We'll be right back. Here we go, guys. Let's see at the bottom of it. I have no idea how it looks right now. Let's set this down. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's open the truck up. Let's take our ramp out. And let's put our cylinder head up here. All right, let's turn this over. All right, none of the valves look bent or burnt or broken or anything. Huh? I didn't expect to see that. Let's turn this back over. And especially we got these two right here. Okay. And these 2 lifters. I was wondering if the lifters was kind of sunk in. Nope. Okay, the lobes on the cam, on both of them, looks pretty good. Uh-oh, this is starting to turn into a mystery, guys. All right, let's get over there and let's start taking off the second cylinder head. We'll be right back. All right, guys, before we go over there, let's look at look how these pistons looking all. Yeah, let's take off our head gasket. See if we see anything. See a lot of stuff built up in here. Like it wasn't really getting no circulation to cool off the cylinder head. I wonder if there was some kind of sealer in there or something. But that's everywhere. But I don't see no scars inside the cylinders. And especially what I noticed, which is really good for this many miles, usually after an engine wears down so much, there'll be a little lip right here on the top of the cylinder wall. Right on top, there'll be a little lip because the rings don't go all the way that high. I don't feel none. That's good. That's a good indication that the cylinder itself is not really worn. Alright. Alright, guys. Let's go over here to our other cylinder head. Let's pull this off and see what we got. First thing we got. Same thing. We got our 4 10mm bolts. We got one right there, one down in there, and 2 over here. Now this one right here, I'm going to have to take out this bolt that holds on that guide. So I'm just going to take that out momentarily. And what I got is my 10mm shallow 3/8 drive socket, my 6-inch 3/8 drive extension, and my 3/8 drive ratchet. You know what? What I'm going to do is get my cordless gun. I'll be right back. All right, I got my cordless gun here. Let's get it in. Okay, the 2 up here. All right, now before I take those out, what I'm going to do now is get my 1/2-inch drive ratchet, 4 1/4-inch 1/2-inch drive extension, and I'm gonna get my 15mm 1/2-inch drive socket, and I'm gonna loosen up these bolts. Now, I have with me. Let me go there. Matter of fact, let me take these bolts out now. And reach up under here and get this one out. Okay. And this one right here. Alright, now that I got those 4 out, I'm going to set them on top of the intake. And I'm putting our bolt to our guide back in here. And put that in by a couple threads so we know exactly where that goes. Alright, let me go get my socket and I'll be right back. Alright, got my 15mm 1/2" drive socket. And let's go around here and loosen these up. I'm gonna loosen all these up and then we're gonna get our air gun. Be right back. Alright, got my 1/2" drive air gun now. Now let's get these bolts out of there. Alright. These are some long head bolts. Guys, you might be wondering, like, what do they do if this is doing this outside? What do they do when they're done with the for the day? We're gonna show you at the end of this video. All right. So what we're gonna do is now, you know what, look, guys, let's tell you what. Let's get us some cardboard here. Okay, let's pull this head off and see what we got here. Now this was the good side. Yeah, we kind of figured I wasn't going to see much on this one. Let's go set this head down, take a better look at it. See, this side was pretty good. So I don't really think we had any problems with this one. What is that? Okay, it's nothing. All right, let's turn it over. Right side up. Everything. It's looking pretty good over here. All right, guys, let's go back over here to the engine. Okay, the walls look good. Pistons look pretty good. So you know what? Let's get our head bolts and put them down here. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go up here to the front. Now, check this out, guys. We did some we went online to look up the parts we needed. It looks like, remember we took this whole gear off right here? Let's take this off. It looks like this outer gear will separate from the main gears. So, heck, we get with this new cam gear right here. So what I'm gonna do is take a little hammer, just tap that out, and we're gonna see about that. But in the meantime, let's get off our oil pump. Now, before I take off my oil pump, remember we got this bolt right here that's holding the tube. So we're gonna take that out because it's gonna hit this. We're gonna take this out right here real quick. And we got 2 10mm bolts out already. Now we got one more. So I'm gonna use my same cordless gun. With my 10mm on it. Okay. Let me check these bolts. Okay, they're the same length. That's good. All right, and let's. Oh, man, we gotta take this bolt off to get this off. Dang it. That's a 21mm. Okay, let's get our air gun over here. Let's get this bolt off. Alright, here we take our cam gear off. I'll set it down here for a moment. And let's walk our oil pump right off of there. Perfect. There we go. There's our oil pump. And what I'm going to do is put my bolts back in there. And then I'm going to go get me a little hammer. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, got my little hammer here. Let's take our cam gears. Let's go over to the back of the truck. And let's see if this comes off. Don't tell me I'm gonna need a puller, because that would suck. Okay, it's moving. Tell you one thing, this thing hurts your hand trying to hold this thing. You know what? Give me a rag. Dang it. So I can hold this better. Oh, yeah, that's better. Yes. Slow. Probably all that carbon up oil stopping it from coming off easy. There we go. Now check this out, guys. You see that one tooth right there? See how you got all the little teeth? Then you can see that one big one right there. So that's our alignment. That's how we're gonna know to put this back on. Great, everything is good. And there's our timing mark for the other side of the chain. Now what about over here? What about the other one?
There's two on the back gear.
Okay, that one goes, I'm going to show you where that goes in a minute. But maybe this tooth right here is for the, you know, for both of them. That dot right there. Because as we turn it around, I don't see another one. Oh, wait a minute. Is that one there? No, that's not one.
Right there.
That's a mark? Why can't they put a dot there like the other one? Okay, that looks like our second mark right there. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's our second mark, and that's our first mark. That's good. Now, those two up there, those two alignment marks up there, let's go to the front of the engine. I'm gonna show you where they go. Let me get the. Now, when we put this back together, you see the little dot right there? So when we put this back together, we're gonna slide this gear on, and it's gotta line up just like that. So that's how we're gonna know that's the alignment on the balance shaft right there. So we're good to go with that. We can leave that on for now. You know what? I'm gonna take it off. All right, guys, what I'm gonna do now is put all our stuff up over here, and then we're gonna turn this engine upside down so we can get that crank out of there and see how it looks. We'll be right back. All right, guys, let's get these head gaskets off so they don't get in the way. All right, now let's flip this engine over slowly. This thing is a lot lighter right now. Okay, let's lock it into place. Alright, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get us a marker, because we need to mark these motor mounts, because we got to take off these motor mounts. Because we got to remove this whole upper half right here. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, first thing we'll do, let's get some brake cleaner here, and what I want to do is clean out so when we go to mark these, we're going to mark these so we know exactly how to put them back. Alright. Now let me get an airline and dry this up, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we dried it off. The next thing we're going to do, let's get our marker and start marking. Start from the back of the motor. We're going to mark our connecting rods. Here's number 6 and here's number 5. So what we're going to do is, now you got to make sure that your rod, that these connecting rods are going to face, all of them going to face the front ways. So what we're going to do is put a little arrow on the ones we can reach. That looks like a T. I should leave it at T. So this one's going to be number 6, 5, and what I'm going to do here is get my 21mm 1/2-inch drive. We're going to turn the crank and put the arrow on it. This one's number 1. This one's number 2. And 3 and 4. Alright. Let's start taking those apart. Now, what we got here is my 6-inch extension, 3/8 drive, and I got an 11mm shallow socket, or you can use a 7/16. And what you want to do here is go ahead, loosen it. It's going to be kind of tight because these are torqued down. Okay. Okay, now let's take the bolts out. And there we go. And what you can do, sometimes these caps get stuck down there. What you can do is use your bolts. Bring your bolts up just a little bit, squeeze them together, and use that to pick it up. There we go. That's great. That's number 4. So we're going to set that to the side. And now we're going to do number 3. And again, I'm going to show you the little trick of doing it. Don't remove the bolts. Just get them all the way loose. Alright. Pick them up just a little bit. Squeeze them together. Pop it right up. Alright. Now, to get to the next ones, be very careful, because sometimes what can happen is you push that down too much, that piston's gonna pop right out of the block, and we do not want that. Now we do got a piston ring compressor that we can put them back, but we don't want to do that. So next thing we're gonna do is, let me just go from this side. All right, now up under here, our piston is down in there. So what we want to do is hold our hand right there, the other hand up here. We can actually crank it, turn it. This one's not going to bring the piston down. Over this side, this one's come over this side. Because as I'm turning the crank, that piston, watch this, watch it's going to start coming down. Coming down like that. But you don't have to worry about it coming out. Just hold it right in place. All right, and once that's in place, everything's good. Our rods are right there. Now we can get down to number 5 and number 6. And then we're going to continue that to turn it around and do number 1 and 2. All right, so what I'll do is one more, and then you're going to be on your own. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of lazy, so I'm gonna get my 1/2 inch. I'm gonna get my cordless gun. Okay, that's a lot easier. All right. Also, guys, sometimes I should have told you this. Sometimes these do get a little stuck. So even, let me see if this one gets stuck. Even picked it up a little bit. Now this one came up, but sometimes that's what you do, is take a little hammer and just shock it loose. All right, so let's get this one. Came off. All right, now over here, you can see where I'm setting them at. I'm putting them all in line, keeping them with the bolts and everything. Now we'll get the last 2. All right, let's get the last 2 out, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got them all out. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to continue turning my engine over, because what I want is, like if you see right here, you see both of these pistons are right at the top. So what I want to do is start turning the engine. I'm going to look up here, and I'm going to see where, okay, like I can see this one right here is starting to push down. So I'm going to make sure that's guide down. So what I'm doing is all my pistons now are going to the top. So it's going to make it easy for me to get this crank out of here. So right now, I got the 2 back ones. And now, oh, I got, okay, all 3 over here are out, just like that. Now let's go to the other side. And as you can see, we got 1 that's not. So, continue to turn the engine. And you can see that piston come down. We're going to do here. Okay, now look up here. If you look up here, right now something's hitting. So we want to make sure, see where it's hitting at. Okay, it's hitting on the connecting rod right here. That's okay. And so we have to do is just hold that up some kind of way. Dang it. Extension or something. Pick that rod up. Okay. Now we can turn it. Alright. Okay, all pistons are out. Well, not out, but down here. The next thing we're going to do, guys, is get us a marker. And let's mark our motor mounts. This one's going to be, this is the left side. And this one's the right side. Alright, looks like they've got 4 15mm bolts. So I'm using my 15mm deep, 1/2" drive impact. Get those bolts out of there. Same size. Okay. And let's put our bolts back in there. And then we're going to go on to the other side. Let's put this mount down. Alright, let's go to the other side. Same thing. This one got a little bracket going to it, but I can still get in there and get this off. Alright, let's put our bolts in there, back in there, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing we gotta do, we got this whole big case right here. This thing got a bunch of bolts in it. Different size bolts. The ones in the center are 15mm. Then on the outside you got 13s and you got 10mm. 2 on each side. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our 4 1/4 inch extension with our 10mm 1/2" drive socket. Get my air gun here. And what we're gonna do, 1, 2, over this side, and we got 2 more. 3, 4. Gonna leave them in there. The next thing we're gonna do is switch over to our 13mm deep 1/2" drive, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. And 1, 2, 3, 5 on this side. Alright, that's good. Now we're going to switch over to our 15mm deep 1/2" drive, and we got 2, 4, 6, 8. Now pay attention that on the third set it's got studs here. So what we're gonna do is take off the nuts we put up there from before, and let's get these off of here. All right. Put the nuts back up here. Now we know, dang it. Oh, there it is, okay. All right. Now we know that the center ones are 15s, but we gotta make sure that they're all the same length. Okay. Okay, they're the same length. We're not worried about it. Now we know these two, they go right there. So let's set these down. Now we're gonna work on the outside bolts. Let's go for the 13 millimeters. Checking them out to make sure they're all the same length. Because if one of them is different, we're gonna have to mark that one. Okay, they're good. These to the side. And I put them, notice how I put those over here together. Let's keep them separated like this. So I know where those, I know those bolts gonna go to this whole housing right here. The next thing we got our 4 10 millimeter bolts. Those are the same size. All right, let's see if this moves a little bit. Yeah, I kind of figured it wouldn't move. All right, I'm gonna put these down and then I'm going to get a brass hammer. All right, and
Why brass?
Because I don't want to use metal and mark this up and mess it up someplace. Brass hammer, the brass will bend and mess up and scar before this steel would. Because I don't want to mess this up in any kind of way. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we got a 10 millimeter bolt here. Dang it. So there's 5 10 millimeters. Good thing I've seen that. Let's get that one out of there. All right. Same length. I want to go around and make sure we didn't miss nothing else. Okay, it's not loose. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, you can see I got my brass hammer here, and you can see how it's all messed up. That's because, see, when I hit something, it'll hit that hammer, it chipped off already. So what we're gonna do here is now we're gonna go, slowly go around it. We can see it coming up right there. Now I could take a screwdriver and stick it in and pop it up, but I don't want to damage anything in there. Then all of a sudden we got oil leaking. So right here, I am definitely safe.
Another spot, you can hit it right there.
Here.
Yeah.
Go.
Are you gonna leave him in suspense again?
I don't know. I know they like, no, don't, not again, no. All right, guys, you ready? Here we go.
Dum dum dum. Nah, just kidding. Let's get back to the video.
All right, guys. Y'all like that? That was Sylvia's idea.
No, was it?
All right, let's take this out. Let's bring this over to the truck. Turn this upside down. Let me check out our bearings. Man, these bearings look really good. Oh, wait a minute. This one, there ain't no bearing here on this one. Must be up there. All right. Let's go back over to our engine. Here's our other bearing right here. All right, now we're gonna pick up our crank. All the journals, everything looked good. Now, where do we see them scarring marks at? It looks like it was scarring in here. And, I don't know. Let's get this up. Matter of fact, before we do that, guys, let's go over here. Let's set this to the side. Because our crank looks really good. And be careful. Do not let anything hit these journals, okay? Do not. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do here is let's take this main bearing and pop it back into place. Now these bearings have little tangs on them, alignment tangs, so you know exactly where they go. So we're gonna just leave that right there as a protector. We're gonna get us a nice piece of cardboard. This is where we're gonna put our crank at, because nothing's wrong with this crank, so we're gonna reuse this crank. We're just definitely gonna get some new bearings. All right, let's go over here. Man, this thing ain't gonna come out that easy, is it? You know what? Let's get that rear main seal off of there. Get in here, pick it up. All right, let's go take this over to the engine, to the back of the truck. Let's take a look at this. I mean, there's markings in here, but it doesn't look like it was hitting up against anything. And then our center one, everything looks smooth, guys. Let's go over there and check this. Let's go over and look at this engine again. All right, we do have our thrust washers right here that I thought we would be hitting, and these thrust washers will set right inside the engine just like that. And the other one, dang it, other one is down here. That one looks pretty good. And they're gonna set just like that when we go putting this back together. And what we do is I try to put something on it to keep them in place, because you definitely need those things in place. And what I'm noticing is we got to pay attention to this, because there's two different ones here. This one, notice how that long part sticks out right here? If we go to this one over here, take this one out, it's like a flat, bigger one. So we got to know what side it goes on. Also, these thrust bearings have little indentations in them right there for the oil to go through and all. Make sure they are away from the journal itself when we put them back together. So now we got that. These bearings ain't that bad at all. Great. Our connecting rod bearings, look how smooth they are. They are perfect. We're definitely going to be reusing those. Here's our rear main seal. We're going to be getting a new rear main seal. I still don't understand what happened, but I think we can figure something out. All right, we'll be right back. Put that in there too. All right, guys and girls, I am baffled here. I mean, I have no idea what the heck happened to this engine. I don't know where we're gonna go. Wait a minute. Again, that's why we got the Astral Lab. He can check this out and tell me exactly what happened. So you know what we're gonna do? Let's get us a bag here, and we're gonna give him the tensioner. We'll give him one of the rockers and one of the lifters that came out of here, and we'll give him the oil pump. And what we're gonna do is send this next day air. Well, no, not next day air. We're gonna send it Astral mail. That's quicker than quick. All right, let's throw this to him. Hey. All right, class. So over the weekend, what I need you to do is study those 4 important elements, because they will be on your test. Look at this mess. All right, class. What we got here is we deal with a company called Astral Auto Repairs, and right now they're working on a 2003 Jeep Liberty that some parts fell apart, and they have no idea what happened, why they fell apart. So they sent it to us, to explain it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is so oily. How do you mechanics work on so much oil? I have no idea. Ugh, man, let's get some gloves here. Let's dump this stuff out first. Okay. All right, I see your issue. Now here's your problem, Tim. Now if you recall on part 1, 2, or 3, one of them, when you went and checked this customer's car out, it had a lot of oil, had a lot of noise, and you checked the oil. There was hardly any oil on the dipstick. That's indication number 2. And number 1. Now number 2 is when you got this engine apart, that oil was really, really caked up, which means how in the heck is that oil supposed to circulate through the engine? Let's start from the beginning. Number 1, here's your oil pump. Your oil pump takes the oil from the oil pan through here and distributes it out through the engine. If the oil is clogged up anywhere or this fails, you will not get oil throughout the engine. Now, being that this car has been run with hardly any oil in it, I'm definitely going to tell you to replace this, because there's a gears inside of here, and if those gears are constantly ran with no oil on them, it will mess them up. So when you go start this engine up, either you're going to have no oil pressure or very low oil pressure. And do you really want to pull this whole engine back apart just for an oil pump? No. The next thing, as it's traveling through, it's going through the timing chain and the guides and all that, and those guides are held in, put pressure on the chain by a timing chain tensioner. And what happens here, if you look at a timing chain tensioner really close, there's going to be little oil ports, especially on the top. So what happens is the oil circulates through the engine from the oil pump. This is a plunger right here. It keeps that plunger straight up against the guide and up against the chain, so the chain will stay tight at all times. Now, if the oil pressure is lost through here, that plunger drops down, and there's a good possibility that it will jump timing, which means the timing chain will jump off one of the tooth. Now, I paid attention to your video, and luckily, that did not happen in your case, but it did throw off the timing. Now, let's go further up into the engine. You sent me 2 parts here, a valve lifter and a rocker. They set just like this. Now on the lifter in the front, there's another little oil port that oil has to get to, because there's a plunger right here, and this plunger has to stay up firm at all times. Because you got your rocker right here, and then you got your camshaft. So if that plunger drops down because of no oil or low oil pressure, that rocker will just fall right out of there like they did in your case. It is very important for your cars to have good oil and frequently change the oil. Now, this is what I'm going to recommend. It's not a recommend. I'm pretty much going to demand this, because if you don't want to do this job again, you got to do this. Number 1, replace that oil pump. You cannot take a chance of them gears inside being messed up. You do not want to do this job again, especially because you're giving this customer a good warranty, so you want to make sure that's replaced. The next thing, replace your timing chain tensioner. Now, you can get the tensioner by itself, but I do not recommend it. I highly recommend getting you a whole kind of kit. I'm pretty sure there's got to be some kit out there. I mean, there's got to be. Get a kit with all the chain, the guides, and whatever you need to replace that. The next thing you want to do, I am also going to recommend you changing all the lifters. I have no idea whether those lifters, the other ones are sunk or sinking or clogged up because of the carbonized oil. I don't know. I'm definitely going to tell you to replace that. Next, you got 2 rockers that's messed up. The other ones are good. You don't have to worry about those. But these, just in case they're scorn, and these do have a little couple of scorn marks on them, replace the 2. All right? Definitely do that, and you should have no problem at all. And please stop sending me this oily mess Because I know you capable, you and Sylvia is capable of figuring this stuff out yourself. Here you go. You like that, don't you? Yeah, now we know what happened. That's cool. Now we are confident what we gotta do to put this back together, and we gotta let the customer know, gotta keep up with the oil changes. Heck, and sometimes like we charge $39.95 for an oil change. Even if you do it once a month, guys, come on, that's like $10 a week. Change the oil every 2 months or something, and that's like $5 a week. Definitely want to do it. That's cool. That's what I call service. All right. Now we're gonna wrap this up. What we're gonna do is put a plastic bag on this, so just in case it rains or anything, it keeps it dry and everything. All right. We'll be right back.
Okay, so that's the end of part 7. Now we know what's needed, what needs to be done. I'm gonna call the customer and let her know what's going on and the cost and all, and see. I'm sure she's gonna want to fix, because that's her little baby. She loves her little liberty. So I think that's about it, right? That's it for today. If you guys have any comments or questions, you can post them below in the comments section, or you can email Timmy at tim@astralautorepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Sylvia from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.